Good evening and welcome to 3 Wide TV for tonight's broadcast of the Total Nonstop Racing League Tuesday Night Truck Thunder. Is presented by Stay Tuned Sports. My name is Bob Giaquinto, and joining me tonight and for this whole season, Garrett Gleason. And Garrett, this is going to be fun. The first race of a brand new, second season of the truck series here on Total Nonstop Racing League. I'm really looking forward to tonight's race, G.
Bob, Stay Tuned Sports is committed to the full season, and you might think I've committed to the full season, but after doing one race with me, you might end up throwing me out of the booth, so let's not commit to that. But I'm excited to be here. We had fun with our Monday night truck series. Stay Tuned Sports was kind enough to want to sponsor this again. We're moving these guys to Tuesday night, but I'm still expecting that same level of excitement here tonight, and nothing like kicking it off at Daytona, buddy.
Absolutely. This is definitely, I know for me, super speedway racing for a lot of drivers is either hit or miss. People either love it or absolutely hate it. I'm on the side where I absolutely love everything about super speedway racing, whether I'm racing in it in the race or even just watching it at home. It's so much fun to be a part of. And I mean, you can't go wrong. Kicking off a brand new season at Daytona, there's literally nothing better.
Super speedway racing is the only time in my life, Bob, where I feel like I have friends, because everyone wants to work with you at these type of races. You really can't go anywhere on track and be alone, and that's what I like about this. You're going to see guys working with each other for the first time. Obviously, it's the first race of the season, but first time ever. That, like, some of us race together in other leagues, but these guys are going to, whoever's fast and can get them to the front, that's what they're going to go with, and that's the element that Daytona brings, Talladega brings, and that's why it's always unique to start our season with a super speedway race.
Absolutely. And this is one of those races where you kind of got to keep your friends close and your enemies closer, where, okay, I can get ahead. This guy's a great pusher, but maybe him and I just haven't seen eye to eye in a couple of races, or, oh, he left me out to dry. Let's see what we can do here. And there's really that extra element of strategy for a super speedway race that you don't see at other types of racing, where you can kind of use the other cars around you to your advantage and kind of take advantage of those drivers later on in the race. So that's definitely going to be a lot of fun. Big field out there for tonight. Lots of great racing that we're going to see. Special thanks for our sponsor for tonight's race, Fisher Disc Golf and Boltjet Charter. It's the Fisher Disc Golf Boltjet Charter 150 here tonight at Daytona. And as I say that now, the track is getting ready to go silent, and we're going to head off to qualifying.
Qualifying here at a play track, it's pretty much the same at Daytona and Talladega. You're going to want to get a good up-to-speed lap, run it high, use as much of the racetrack as possible, and that second lap's going to be your money lap. You're going to want to get it low on the track, and I think we'll see some guys cut the tri-oval a little bit here by the start-finish line. And it's going to be a matter of probably thousandths of a second to see who gets the pole here.
Yeah, and G, what is, when it comes to racing here, as we see a few of the guys out there on the track right now, we are taking a look there at, I believe that is the 99 machine out there of Paul McDonnell. He was one of the newcomers here to the Total Nonstop Racing League. But, G, what is that strategy when it comes to qualifying, especially for you? When you do the first lap, are you high line the entire way around and then drop down low for the second line, or what is kind of the ideal move here?
Well, Bob, I'm glad I'm the expert on this topic, considering I think I have one career pole on a super speedway, and that's my only career pole ever. But there used to be in iRacing a bubble up near the wall, so you couldn't get it right up against the wall. I don't know if that has changed, but I try to keep it a little bit under that as I'm on my get up to speed lap, and definitely as soon as I start seeing that start finish line out of 4, I'm going to start cutting it down, get down to right where that start finish line hits the apron, and get ready for that money lap.
Right now we see the 49 machine of Mitchell Adams getting ready to take the green flag for his first lap. And, he's exactly kind of doing what you're saying, staying high there for the first lap. You'll see those left side tires right there on the dotted line, just to kind of give himself that momentum and really keep that momentum up as he makes his way around the racetrack. You see a few other drivers out there on track as well. The 21 of Swain on there, as well as Connor Barry. So lots of drivers out there making their runs. And, this is one of those tracks that anyone could do anything. We have a little bit of an issue there with the 54 machine. Just didn't exactly like his lap. Said, I'm just going to pull over and start it over again.
Bob, you and I up here in the booth, we have to make it seem like qualifying is important. And maybe for the guys that start in the front row here at the beginning of this race, qualifying is important. But this is Daytona. It doesn't matter where you start. You can get a run and go from last to first in one lap here once you're up to speed. So, yeah, it matters. We're going to give credit to whoever sits on the pole here tonight. But just because you're starting 25th tonight, that doesn't mean you're out of this by any stretch. And you and I have both been there where we've rode in the back all race long till it's one lap to go, and then by the end of it, we're in the top 5. I mean, that sort of thing happens, and that's part of the unpredictability when you come to Daytona.
Yeah, exactly, G. And that's one of those things I know for me personally when I'm out there on the track, if I decide to qualify, it's usually a pretty rare day, only because I'd like to hang out in the back and wait for the carnage that we all know is going to happen. Hopefully I'm far enough away from the wreck or ahead of the wreck by the time it comes, just to kind of keep my nose clean and go through it from there. But I mean, there are so many different strategies that come into play at super speedways that you really don't see anywhere else.
Yeah, you're certainly not going to see guys wanting to be as running in packs at California, Atlanta. Well, maybe the new Atlanta, but not the old days.
Yeah.
Bristol, you don't want anybody around you. Pretty much short track racing. But Daytona here, momentum is your friend. You need other trucks to create that momentum, and if you're better than everyone at it, you'll be the one that's going to be successful at the end of the night and get your truck to the front. We have some very talented plate racers in this field tonight. There's guys that I'm going to be keeping an eye on: Mitchell Adams, Mike Tellier, Jason Gracias. Those guys are proven winners. Even someone like Jason Shu, who's on 3YTV a lot but does not have the notoriety. He has been a winner in the NSRA series that we broadcast and a champion of that series. So someone that you might be your sleeper tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And Shu is one of those drivers that, he's really come a long way over the last couple of seasons through Total Nonstop Racing as well as National Sim Racing Association, just kind of quietly and consistently moving up through the ranks. And he's definitely one of those drivers that I'm going to keep an eye on as well. Taking a look right now at the standings so far, the pole sitter is the 278 machine of Crystal King, with a lap of 52.109. And G, like you had mentioned before practice or before qualifying, the top 3 drivers all separated by 2/1000ths of a second.
It's almost like I know what I'm talking about, Bob. I'll take the rest of the night off, and you and our wonderful producer Carlos could just handle it from there. But no, I don't want to miss these 60 laps of excitement. I guess I'll stick it out. But just so our viewers know, yeah, 10s. Oh, who gave me a 9? Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, I'll try to do better for that harsh judge over there.
Well, that'll just about do it for qualifying as the cars are getting ready to jump out on the grid. Everyone getting things situated. And we've got 60 laps of super speedway racing here tonight in the Fisher Disc Golf Boltjet Charter 150. It's the Tuesday Night Thunder presented by Stay Tuned Sports. And let's take a look at the starting lineup. Starting on pole, the 278 machine of Crystal King, and on the outside, the 58 of Josh Edmondson. In row number 2, we have the 50 of Bill Edwards, and on his outside, the 6 machine of Dave Bodio. In 5th, Kevin Stone in the number 7 machine, your number out there, G. So got to remember it's Kevin Stone, not Garrett Gleason in the 7. And on his outside, the 99 of Paul McDonald. Josh Eckhart and Sean Winkler round out row number 4. Tristan Thuggy Maher and Ryan Hesgard there in row number 10. And rounding out the top 12, the 22 of Cameron Perez and the 21 of Keaton Swain.
Like Bob and I mentioned, these people starting a little further back are not out of it by any means. We have Mitchell Adams, who's done a wonderful job leading our series. So we hope Ben Adams is also back soon to help him. Connor Berry on the outside of him. Ian Fisher will round out your top 15. Casey Brunson to his outside. Jason Gracias, one of our great super speedway racers, will roll off in 17th. And Jeff Price, who's always a contender, rolls off in 18th. The Canadian Dale Earnhardt, Mike Floppy Tellier, will start 19th alongside Ben Adams. And hey, there he is. There's Ben Adams. I didn't even know he showed up. Thanks for showing up, Ben. We have the always exciting Matthew Rodriguez in 21st. Bradley Wilson, 22nd. Brian Bradley and Matt. Is that Matt Vanderkoy? I believe that's Matt Vanderkoy, just as Matt Coy on here now. We'll round out your top 24.
And rounding out the rest of the field in 25th position, the 29 machine of Keith Carball. Jason Shue, as we had talked about earlier, in 26th. And that will be your field for tonight's race. 60 laps, no stage breaks, no stage cautions, just 60 laps straight through. This is going to be a whole lot of fun, G. Just some great door-to-door, wheel-to-wheel racing at a super speedway. And I mean, between you and me, the truck series is definitely one of my favorite series to run here on iRacing. There's just something about a little less horsepower, heavier vehicles, and just a lot of fun to drive these trucks.
Yeah, these trucks, I don't. I feel like this is a bad way to say this, but you could kind of drive these like a maniac, Bob. You could get out there, just push on the guy, move these things all over the place, and just have an absolute blast. And that's why these trucks are so popular on the iRacing platform. That's why you see successful leagues built around the truck series. And that's what we're hoping to do here, at least for part of the year in Total Nonstop Racing. As long as people continue to enjoy the Stay Tuned Sports truck series, it will have a place here. And I'm looking forward to getting the season started in style here. So we'll see. Let's take a good look at this grid right now, because as soon as this green flag comes up, Bob, it's going to be changing, and it's going to be changing a lot.
That's for sure. A lot of different teams out there as well. I know we always talk about the S2R guys when it comes to the Bagcraft Cornhole Grand National Series, but some of those guys you got to keep an eye out for. The 50 of Bill Edwards, Matt Vanderkoy, who's a little bit further back in the pack as well. Those guys have been practicing pretty much this entire practice session, all of them just together. But the pace truck pulls off. Green flag is in the air, and we are underway here at Daytona for the first race of the Tuesday Night Thunder Truck Series presented by Stay Tuned Sports, side by side, heading off into turn number 1.
Bob, when they started this race, they had such a big gap in between them, but that's not going to last for long. These guys are going to get tucked right up each other's bumpers, and we'll see which line reigns supreme here as we're headed off to the backstretch.
Yeah, good side-by-side 2x2, pretty much all the way down through the pack. Everyone getting in line there. All still one pack. I'm looking maybe towards the middle, towards the back of the pack to maybe try to create a second pack just to kind of keep things spread out a little bit more. But here out front, Crystal King in the lead, getting a good push there behind them from the 50 of Bill Edwards. Edwards then he's going to shoot out to the top side, maybe try to block a run, maybe try to lead a lap here. But at the line, it was the 50 of Bill Edwards. So Edwards, mark him down for leading the first lap of the season.
Old man Bill Edwards, always impatient out there, Bob. He knows he doesn't have much time left on this earth, so he doesn't want to waste it by running in second place. So you can't blame Bill Edwards. He has a lot of fans usually in the chat. I'm sure I'll hear from them. But no surprise to see that 50 out front leading. Would have been a cool story for Crystal King to lead the first lap in Total Nonstop Racing competition, considering wasn't even registered for any of our other series. That would have been a cool story. But I'm sure the 278 is not going to go too far away from that 50's bumper and look to take an opportunity to pass him back.
Yeah, that's for sure. They're all side by side there. Bill Edwards coming out to a nice, comfortable lead, about a truck length. If he wants to try to jump out in front of the 58, that's Josh Edmondson. And if you've watched any of the Super Stadium Truck Series that we have with Total Nonstop Racing, you'll know Josh Edmondson. A fantastic off-road dirt racer, and it's really cool to see him get on the asphalt side of things and try to push his luck here with TNR in the oval trucks.
Yeah, we always talk about Total Nonstop Racing being a family, and to see some of these guys from the Stadium Truck Series showing up to our Asphalt Truck Series, that's pretty awesome. As we got a replay here queued up. Looking at this. No, we don't have a replay queued up, but we're just looking at side-by-side live action. Bob, it's my first time with side-by-side. I'm not used to this type of quality, but that's what you get here on 3Y TV.
Yeah, I'm absolutely loving this multicam. We're getting a great look on board the roof. I believe that's of the 6 of Dave Bodio on the bottom screen. Up top, see some nice side-by-side action. There's the number 1 of Jason Gracias, about mid there, currently running in the about 12th or 13th position, give or take, depending on what scoring line he has crossed. But, a good battle all throughout the pack here, just kind of hanging out. We got one car a little bit off the pace, one truck a little bit off the pace, just kind of kicking back and saying, you know what, I'm gonna let things play out. It's getting a little too racy out there. let me just hang out in the back, and that's honestly sometimes the right strategy to do.
Yeah, it's definitely a strategy you could play here, and then you might, if this thing stays green, you become under the mercy of the green flag pit stops, and if you don't get that yellow, you're pretty much in trouble because you're going to end up pitting not in a big pack. You're going to lose the big pack, and then you're going to be at the mercy of the caution gods. So definitely a risky strategy early on, but I've seen it help people and hurt people, Bob, and I've been on both sides. I've been waiting for that caution all race long, and it never to come. And I've also been back there safe and sound when a big one happens. It's just you can't predict these things as we look at another truck pulling out a line here on the backstretch.
Yeah, there's the if a rainbow threw up all over a ska concert, I think is the best way to describe that 50 of Bill Edwards. Great looking car, very bright, very shiny. But Bill Edwards said, you know what, I had enough leading. I'm gonna drop towards the back here and kind of ride along as everyone's picking up around him, and we'll have a new leader come into the line. Let's see if it's gonna be the 278 or the 58 of Edmondson. Edmondson is gonna lead that lap.
I think Edmondson probably took a shortcut through the grass and the mud and all stuff. That's sort of his thing, right? Is that what happened? Did we miss that, or is he just doing it legitimately out there? But it's like
Yay.
it's nice to see that number 7 running up front. That's a rarity here on 3Y TV, especially because most times 3Y TV, I'm the number 7, Bob.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep reminding myself the 7 is Kevin Stone, 7 Kevin, and it's not Garrett Gleason because I guarantee you, I'm gonna slip up at least once, either tonight or throughout the season, saying the 7 is going to be well, you. So good to see the 7 up there, up front, getting the 7 in a good light there, and giving a good push to the 278, who's finally gonna lead a lap here, hopefully as they cross the line.
Yeah, it's been a long 7 laps there for that 278. Finally getting that lap led, and just keeping an eye on these competitors here. I'm looking to see who's more comfortable pushing, who's not keeping the truck on the bottom of the racetrack. Just something as a competitor I would keep an eye on for later on in the race. I'm gonna know who's getting impatient behind me, and we'll make that move first. So, oh, this is a great shot to actually see. You can see the movement of these trucks as they're heading off there into turn 3.
Yeah, really good looking pack of cars right there in the front. One thing that's really interesting to me is in the back of the pack, the S2R guys, the 50 of Bill Edwards, the 60 of Matt Vanderkoy, and the 222 of Ryan Hesgard. Those three, all three are S2R teammates, and they've backed off considerably from the rest of the main pack, currently running back in the 24th through 26th position, and they just kind of said, you know what, we're going to bail out right now. The three of us, there's plenty of racing to go. We're going to hang out for quite a bit and just kind of ride along. Right now, it looks like Bill Edwards about 2.5 seconds, give or take, behind the leader. And with 3 cars versus about 23 cars, as long as they're staying in the draft of the car in front of them, they should be fine. But obviously, you don't want them to get too far out.
Yeah, I think the gap, we try to keep it as a second, maybe a little over, and then whoever your first car is in that backpack, you're gonna rely on them to use their brake, or at least scrub some speed off at some point, so you don't get too close, and try to keep that strategy working out for you. S2R boys, I'm not used to them playing that strategy, Bob, but they must see something out there that's making them uncomfortable. I don't really see anything from our perspective, like these guys are out of control. I mean, I think they're minding their manners pretty good. Only 2 wide. I'm surprised it's Jason Gracias, Matthew Rodriguez. Those guys aren't mixing it up 3 wide at this point.
Yeah, no, I'm a little bit surprised as well because I know, especially with Gracias and Rodriguez, they love working together and they love trying to get those runs. As oh wow, a little bit of a squirrely moment for a few cars in the mid pack there. Didn't exactly see what was going on. But man, a little bit of a anxious couple of bumps there and a little squiggly getting off the corner. Your car gets so light coming off the corner here as we get a great 3 wide TV multicam shot. 3 wide going through the tri-oval on 3 wide TV.
It's almost like whoever named the station knew exactly what they were doing, because that's the type of action you're going to get here, especially on Tuesday nights. But they all kept it pointed in the right direction, and they'll live to fight another day. And this multicam, I don't even know what screen to look at. I don't know how the viewers do this, Bob.
Yeah, this is some great action here as we see the rear look on the 27 machine. That would be the 27 of Sean Winkler. looking over the truck bed of him, and some great action out front of him. Three wide, 3x3 for about fourth place on back right there. So this could be interesting here, but the one of Jason Gracias, a great pusher and a great being pusher, I guess, for lack of a better phrase. But Gracias getting a great push now, and he'll try to take the lead here.
Bob, I want that judge to come back that gave me the 9 and say, I just called Gracias going 3 wide here. I feel like I deserve a 10 at this point. I don't know. Maybe we'll see once he takes the lead if they could adjust my score. But what a battle.
Yeah, I'd definitely give you the 10 there, G. It was a great battle and a huge push coming from the number 24. At least that's number 24 out there on the racetrack. Trying to see if that would be, I believe that's the 22 on the score sheet of Cameron Perez, 24 on the truck. Good couple of pushes there as we're side by side again here out front. Josh Edmondson on the outside, Jason Gracias on the inside.
Guys that we're not used to seeing race together here on 3Y TV. Jason Gracias, the leader of our Bagcraft Grand National Series. Edmondson, one of our winners in our Stadium Truck Series. And that's what Daytona does. It brings that parity. You might not race ovals all the time. You might not race asphalt all the time. But anybody in this field could win the race. And I just wanted to go back to that graphic, 2s and 3s. That reminds me of the ratings that I get on most of my dating apps, Bob. So that was a bit harsh by our producer.
Oh man, that was a little bit cold, not gonna lie, but I see the cash there accepting bribes, and all right, I see how it is. There it is, 10 out of 10. Yeah, we'll just forget the 9. Back out front here, Jason Gracias is your leader, the 278 of Crystal King there behind him. And just like that, King jumps up to the top side, getting a good push there from Edmondson. We'll go side by side into the tri-oval, and looks like King's going to lead that lap. 14 or 13 laps down, and still a lot of racing action coming.
Yeah, geez, I hope everyone was able to take a breath here, Bob, because it's been tough so far. This has been nonstop action for 13 laps, and they're probably about halfway through their fuel run here. So they have it figured out. They seem to be comfortable. Everybody's racing side by side, and I mean, we have a little bit strung out towards the back, but this battle for the lead has not lost any intensity at all since the drop of the green.
That's for sure. 3 wide, a little bit further back in the pack there, the number 99 machine of excuse me, of Paul McDonald there in the middle. He's the meat of the sandwich. Oh, he's going to get up and make some contact. We'll all stay green. A couple of cars have to scatter. And, oh, man, some tough moments there for that 99 machine.
Yeah, definitely a tough moment there for the 99. And this is the type of track where you don't want to get involved in anything, have any aero damage, engine damage, any type of damage, because you're going to be like a lead balloon out there. So good job by mostly everyone getting through that without any issue, and didn't seem to deter anyone up towards the front of the field because they're looking to stack them back up and get to racing side by side again.
Yeah, they're still side by side there up at the front. Jason Gracias, the Pied Piper, leading the pack. And, G, you'd mentioned about halfway through here, through this fuel run, we'll get a quick replay of what exactly happened between the 99 machine and, yeah, just kind of got a little bit tight. The car can get a little squirrely coming out of the corner, and unfortunately the 17 of Tristan Thuggy Maher, just wrong place at the wrong time, kind of became the pillow between the 99 and the wall.
I don't feel bad for that 17 truck of Tristan Maher. He spun me as I was trying to lead last time we were here in the truck, so yeah, I don't feel bad about him at all. So, but it's a tough break for those two guys. I'm sure they'll be looking forward to this thing getting stacked back up, yellow coming out maybe at some point, and they could get back with this pack. So don't give up, guys.
Well, as I say that, just a little bit of an interesting moment there for the number 22 machine of Cameron Perez going through turns 1 and 2. Just had a bit of a coming together with another car. I think it was the 21 that was out there as well. Some left side damage you'll see as the car makes its way through the tri-oval. Didn't exactly see what had happened. I just saw a couple of cars come together. This front pack really got spread out here, as we'll see the replay here at the top of your screen. And oh man, the 21 blinked. Bunch of net code, and a ghost car sent the 22 into the wall. 21 now down on pit road. So man, a tough break and interesting moment there.
That might be a first for me, Bob. I don't think I've ever seen a ghost truck do that much movement. Like as far as the netcode goes, that was pretty crazy. I I guess you can't make it up sometimes live on air what you'll see, and that's certainly a first.
Yeah, I mean I've seen some pretty bad just netcode, whatever you want to call it, at tracks like iRacing Super Speedway, where the speeds are just so crazy. But here, I mean, these cars are only running about 180, 190, something along those lines, and I'm surprised that netcode was as bad as it was. But looks like the field's kind of bunching back up together. And what I was trying to say before all this action was, green flag pit stops could start coming soon, and you kind of gotta pick your time, pick your lane, pick your partner, and you want to try to pit with your friends, because if you pit by yourself, you're kind of out of luck.
Yeah, absolutely. iRacing, racing in general, much like life, Bob, is about communication. And the better you communicate, the easier and better things will be. When you're going to pit, let everyone know what lap you're thinking, get some friends, and come together. Do not try to be a hero out there. Keep the strategy to yourself because it's a lonely place being on pit road by yourself. And I just want to give a shout out here. Ben Adams, the number 5. We haven't seen him in a while. He's been having some health issues. It looks like he's recovering pretty well and has that number 5 machine solidly in the top 5.
Yeah, good to see that SimShots number 5 machine up there. Started back in 20th, moved his way up, currently around the 5th or 4th position right now as they run. But a really good run. Great to see Ben out there on the track, like you had mentioned. Gee, some health issues, but great to see him out there on the track, and very happy to have him here with us tonight for opening night here at Daytona.
Yeah, Ben's one of the lead directors of the truck series. He's done a good job getting sponsors on board, getting this thing together, along with Mitchell Adams and some of the other guys they have helping. So certainly good to have him here from both perspectives, racing and administration.
Nice side by side battle here for the lead yet again. The 7 of Kevin Stone, and oh, another issue for the 22 machine. The 22 spins around coming out of turn number 2. But it looks like we are gonna stay green here. Kind of, it looked like he might have just caught the apron a little bit of the transition coming out of turn number 2, but we'll stay green here.
This almost reminds me of coming to a stage break, Bob, at this point. These guys are getting really fidgety out there. They're stacking back up. This pack is becoming one pack again. And that's when you start to see these little mistakes happen, or the give and take going away that was there maybe a few laps ago. And we'll take a look at this replay here, what happened. And nope, might have had a little help there, Bob.
Yeah, just a little love tap in the corner, and had it saved initially, did the 22, but right there, overcorrected, able to save the cone, so that is a plus. And looks like he just kind of did a little bit of a 180, got it straightened out, and kept going again. So no caution. We'll stay green here, third of the way through this race.
Yeah, so far so good on the green flag racing. It's sometimes you see guys anticipating the start of the season and they're out there and wrecks happen. But tonight, so far, we're third of the way as we see some pit stops. Two close friends coming in, working together in the 97 and 57, followed by Hesgard and the 222 and the S2R boys.
Yeah, it looks like S2R plus Mike Floppy Tellier and Matt Rodriguez coming down pit road. A few other drivers maybe thinking about pit road. The 22 thought about it, but couldn't get the truck slowed up in time.
It's looking like a two-stop race here, Bob. If these guys are pitting on lap 20. Oh, we have something.
Oh, very interesting. Looks like our producer Carlos telling us that that Hesberg just went through pit lane. Actually, no, correction, he did not. But big pack up front, more green flag pit stops possibly. The two-stop strategy, G, do you think that's going to work? I mean, come in at 20, 21-ish, coming in at 42-ish. You might have to save a bit to go that third stint.
Well, they should be okay, considering they made it at least the third of the way. But, Bob, as you and I both know, the green-white checkers do happen. And if you don't have enough fuel for those, you're going to be in a world of trouble. I've seen guys certainly have enough for the required distance, but once you come into the overtime, sometimes you have to give up that track position. And at the end of the race, despite being able to move through the field so well. If you're on the front row or something and you have to pit again, that's a heartbreaker.
Yeah, definitely, and that's really tough. And the big thing here is we see a whole gaggle of cars heading down pit road, led off, I believe, by the one of Jason Gracias. He is now in 49. Mitchell Adams in there, as well as I believe Ben Adams is in there. The 11 of Bryant Bradley. So a lot of cars now making their green flag pit stops, but one of the other things you have to consider: do not speed on pit road. G.
Do not speed. And Bob, I was just thinking this in my head, and I guess I'll share it because since that's what I'm required to do tonight. When you're coming to pit road here, and as you're Jason Gracias, you're telling the guys behind you, all right, I'm going to go to the left here. All right, the guy behind him is going to go to the right, the left, right. You're going to want to stagger coming to pit road. This way, you're not running each other over. You're not speeding. You're not doing anything stupid that's going to jeopardize your chance of winning this race. That is very important, and it all ties back to the communication that we talked about before.
Yeah, that communication, G, is absolutely important. I know there are plenty of times that, I said I'm going to go all the way to the far left and wind up getting ran over because someone either didn't hear me or, just didn't know what far, far, far left meant. And I've gotten ran over plenty of times heading to pit road. So that communication is going to be incredibly important. And looks like these leaders now catching up to the S2R guys. The 18 of John Eckhart is your leader. And everyone's single file. Looks like they might be coming down pit road this time. They have to be, right? I mean, 24 laps, probably running on fumes. Maybe make it a couple more laps, but we'll see here. Is Eckhart going to dive down pit road? No, he's going to stay out.
Well, Bob, I think if these guys could make it to lap 30, we wouldn't have seen these guys pit. So they have to be coming. And I think it's going to be beneficial to the guys who came the earliest because they've been out there running laps. They got back in their pack sooner. But we will see. I've been wrong before, but we'll see. We'll see how these guys get the pit road, especially if they're coming in this big group. And now you're dealing with two trucks trying to stay on the tail end of the lead lap here in Bill Edwards and his teammate.
Yeah, and this is going to be really interesting just to kind of see, how is this, pseudo lap traffic, for lack of a better phrase, how that's going to affect these pit stops. I mean, if you're the leader, you don't want to go around them, especially if the rest of the guys behind you come in and pit. You're going to have to, pit or be kind of hung out to try. So we'll see here a lot of the middle of those cars coming down pit road, but John Eckhart and Kevin Stone all stay out. And whoa, man, got a little squirrely there coming down pit road.
Wow, Bob, they're doing a nice job staggering there, and then all of a sudden we were 3 wide coming to pit road. That just did not have a good look to it. But these guys look like they're going to make it to pit road as we're back to showing our live action here.
Yeah, good racing right there. The 11 machine, the 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier, the 57 of Matt Rodriguez. Once they pull around, I believe they might be the ones cycling out in the lead, waiting for timing and scoring to update for me. But it looks like now the leader, John Eckhart, Kevin Stone, both coming down pit road. So the lead's going to cycle around a bit here. And green flag pit stops, always awesome to see on super speedways. Sometimes it kind of spreads the field out a bit. Other times kind of creates multiple packs. Just always exciting action here at Daytona and all the other super speedways here, especially during green flag pit stops.
One of the best ever, from my point of view, Bob, that I've raced with at getting the pit road in a super speedway race is Mike Tellier. He pretty much will teach you in practice where you need to brake. He will tell you. He's not selfish with his information. And it's no surprise to see him take advantage of pit strategy and gain some track position. And Matthew Rodriguez is the beneficiary, just being his buddy. They race together all the time. And look at them right now out there leading at Daytona.
Yeah, when I was racing in the NSRA Super Speedway Series, that was one of those things where I loved being in the team chat with Tellier and Rodriguez, because we'd both, I'd kind of sit there and say, all right, how much fuel do I need? What lap are we coming down on? Where do you want me to go down pit road? And honestly, if it wasn't for those guys, you as well, I probably wouldn't have won the quote unquote championship. I wound up coming in second in the standings, but I wouldn't have won the championship last year for that Super Speedway Series without them. So they are fantastic strategists when it comes to super speedway racing, and you see why right there. They're the first cars to come down pit road. Now they're first cars on the racetrack.
And here comes the strategy. You're talking to everyone that's in this group with you. Guys, let's just ride it out, get to our next pit stop. We don't need a yellow. We have this race exactly where we want it. We have a 3-second gap to the next pack, give or take, slightly less. Let's not blow it by being stupid here. And I've seen it before. Sometimes I'm riding at the back with 3 guys. One guy decides all of a sudden to be a hero. The yellow comes out.
Yeah, and that's the last thing you want. You know, you don't want one guy to say, "Ah, I'm tired of running around. Let's make this exciting." That's the last thing you want, especially in this lead pack here. You're side by side, or you're single file rather. You're going to be faster anyway. Just kind of run around. You got another, I'd say about 14, 15 laps or so until you have to come back down pit road. So you just kind of gotta ride, and whatever stragglers you pick up along the way, great. They'll add to our speed, and hopefully they'll want to stay in line as well.
Yeah, what's the phrase, Bob? The pay window being open? Well, the pay window's not open now. We're not giving out any points here on lap 29. We're not giving out a trophy on lap 29. So there's no reason to jeopardize your chance at winning this race, your chance at running for this championship by doing anything here on lap 29. Just ride. You guys played this out perfectly, and with veterans like Rodriguez and Tellier leading this group, I think these guys will mind their manners. Now, anywhere else in the field, who knows?
Yeah, that's one of those things where I feel like having those lead guys, well, that's going to help them out. But right now, the lead pack coming around a couple of lapped cars. Those are two S2R machines, I believe, or pardon me, one S2R machine in the 222, 17 Tristan Maher, and the 22 machine getting put one lap down. Ryan Hesgard and Keaton Swain as are the two cars one lap down. Cameron Perez, Tristan Thuggy Maher 2 laps down. So in a great view of the onboard of that 20 of the of Matt Rodriguez there in the 25.
As you can see, Bob, these lap trucks are not just going to the back of this pack. These lead guys are going to try to pass them on the outside, but they're holding their own, and they're going to do everything they can to keep this track position the best they can. So I'm kind of surprised that the bigger pack of trucks did not just swallow these guys up.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. I mean, there's more cars in that outside line. The inside line was kind of hooked up, I guess, a little bit better. They're strung out a little bit now. Um, but I'm surprised that they just kind of said, you know what, we'll back off. We'll let them kind of roll around in front of us. No big deal. But because of that, that second pack of cars went from being about 3 seconds behind to now 1.9 seconds behind. So that second group of cars, led by the 58 of Josh Edmondson, starting to pick up a bit just because they ran into this lap traffic.
That 58 of Edmondson leading his group, it's like the horse racing analogy. Not saying we should whip the horse, but you could kind of get that in your head. Like he's telling everybody, all right, get behind me, let's go, push, you're doing great. Okay, we gain a couple tenths that lap, and they're there, Bob. They're there.
Yeah, they have officially caught this main pack now. So 2 packs have become one. There's a second group of cars from 12th on back, about 13 and a half seconds behind the leaders. So about 12 seconds behind this pack. So they're not really going to be much of a factor unless we get a caution. But again, those green flag pit stops, anything could happen. We saw it, with a bit of a connection issue with the 21 getting into the 22. So it's going to be interesting here as the one of Jason Gracias shoots to the outside line to try to get something going here. And we're not single file anymore.
No, we're not. The density has picked up, and that's for sure. And all it took was some lap trucks, and these leaders getting slowed down a bit, running a different lane, and now we have some 3-wide action through the tri-oval.
Yeah, you absolutely gotta love it. But those two teammates there, the 97 and the 57, 25 on the score sheet, 57 on the truck. Good move there. The two of them working quite well together. And Tellier, one of the best pushers in iRacing that I've worked with personally.
Yeah, he's one of the best pushers. He's one of the best at just seeing what lane is working out there. And I usually not fast enough to keep up with Mike even at a super speedway, but when I can get locked to his bumper, I know that's going to get me to the front, and I try to do it as much as humanly possible. But I'm keeping an eye on that number 1 of Gracias to see what he's going to end up doing from this top lane, and when he's going to make it 3 wide and how much of a run he's going to get. If he can get the right truck behind him, it won't be long until he's up there battling for this lead.
Yeah, he's locked on right now to the 49 machine of Mitchell Adams. We see the 5 of Ben Adams there, looking to the inside. Good side-by-side battle here, getting a good push from the 18 to John Eckhart. So, couple of different strategies being played out now, just over halfway. 27 laps remain here for tonight's race. It's the Fisher Disc Golf Boltjet Charter 150 here at Daytona. It's the Tuesday Night Thunder Truck Series presented by Stay Tuned Sports. If you're in the chat, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Make sure you give us a like and subscribe to 3Y TV here as well. If you want to be part of the pit crew, that would be awesome too. Some great racing out there, and if you're in the chat, show this race some love. You know, make sure you cheer on your favorite driver and keep it going here on 3Y TV.
Yeah, feel free to cheer on your favorite commentator too. Let Bob and I know who's doing a good job over here. Maybe if you guys don't like me, we get me replaced by next week. I'm open to any kind of suggestions, but I wouldn't want to miss this action for the world.
Yeah, some great racing action in there. In the chat, Will Ratcliffe says, "Come on, Mitchell, you got this." Tana Himmelman in the chat as well. Lots of great conversation going on in the 3Y TV chat. Here out front, meanwhile, Matt Rodriguez is your leader, followed by Mike Floppy Tellier there on the inside. A bit of a blinking car, a couple connection issues with a couple of cars further back in this pack. You see the strobe light effect going on there. Looks like they've gotten it cleaned up for the most part. Trying to see who that was. That was the 14 of Jeff Price. He's backed off from the field just a little bit. No issues, and we're going to stay green here.
Staying green, and pit stops are coming up. Bob, I expect the 57 and the 97, 57 on his truck, 25 in the scoring pylon. I expect Rodriguez and Tellier to be the first to pit road and try to take advantage. And it's going to be a little different this time. I think some more trucks are going to try to stick with them here. And when you have more trucks coming to pit road, there's definitely more opportunity to have problems out there. So we're going to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, definitely. It can get sloppy when there's a lot of cars coming down pit road. I know there was a race I was in a couple of months ago where we went green the entire race, had green flag pit stops, and everyone in the field except for one car said, "We'll come down pit road at the same time," and it was about as hectic as you could imagine it could be. But you know, luckily we haven't seen something like that yet, where a handful of cars will be coming down pit road. But so far, everyone's looking pretty good here, side by side into turn 3.
Pretty good side by side. 24 to go. We'll see if this, in 20 laps when it's 4 to go, if they turn to civil with each other. But some good racing, and that's what Daytona brings. And that's why I think a lot of leagues start the season out at Daytona. You give everyone a chance to win, everyone a chance to race with each other, push each other, and you get used to each other. And it kind of builds that camaraderie throughout the league. And as long as you don't get in the big one and get into a fist fight on pit road, it usually all works out.
And just remember, if you do get in a fist fight on pit road, just take your helmet off, and at least you'll be able to fight a little bit better. It's like hockey. But as we see that there, the the 21 machine off the charts. There we are, getting ready to go off to a fight down pit road. I know that's definitely never happened with me. No, not at all.
That Vince McMahon, I don't know if you watch WrestleMania, but when he didn't take that stunner very well. And my favorite Vince McMahon moments when he blew up both his quads at the same time when he was at the Royal Rumble. I hope we got to get that queued up for the broadcast. Every time we make a mistake, we'll show McMahon blowing out 2 quads.
I would definitely love to see that for sure. As meanwhile, Matt Rodriguez still in the lead. The 97 Mike Floppy Tellier giving him a great push on the outside. That is the 22 Cameron Perez. Perez, unfortunately, 2 laps down right now. Tristan Thuggy Maher behind him, also 2 laps down. And the 222 there, 1 lap down as well. So right now, the 97, the 57 have a pretty good gap between them and the 3rd place driver of the 18 of John Eckhart. But only because of lap traffic right now, and that's kind of a little bit of a wall separating the leaders from the rest of the field. But if you saw there in that one camera shot, they're coming up with more lap traffic.
Yeah, they're swallowing up these lap trucks pretty much one by one at this point. But at a normal track, Bob, we would say these lap trucks need to get out of the way and let the leaders race. But at a track like Daytona, they want to mix it up. You might be able to pass these leaders, get a lap back. The yellow comes out, you're going to be in good shape. As we watch Jason Shu and Keith Carbaugh get sucked up, and Shu had all he could handle there in the number 3 with the pack going by, but it looks like everyone's going to make it through okay.
Yeah, both Shu and Carball looked like they might have tapped the apron just a little bit coming through the corner. And I mean, I don't know about you, but it is so nerve wracking to me when I see the leaders coming up on a lapped car. You're almost afraid that they're not going to go where they say they're going to go. They'll say they'll go low, and then they'll decide, oh, I'm going to go high instead, and almost kind of like streak around like a chicken streaker, just kind of not sure where they're going to go. And I'm always nervous about something like that, but thankfully no one like that here in the Total Nonstop Racing League, and especially here in the Tuesday Night Truck Series.
I'm always nervous when I hear it on the radio out there. You hear it on the group chat or your Discord chat. They say, "Oh, we're coming up on a lapper," and then like as I'm in the race truck or the race car, and I have my foot like on the gas, on the brake, ready for anything to happen because you just don't know how they're going to manage. So, good job by everyone showing respect out there, giving that little bit extra room. As we look at not a pass for the lead, but someone getting Ryan Hesgard getting a lap back.
Yeah, so right now Hesgard leading the pack. He's currently sitting in 20th place, about to be put one lap down if caution were to come out. Looks like as of right now, the 3 machine of Jason Shu would be your lucky dog winner. And the 222 definitely born to draft. He's in the lead right now at the S2R driver. Getting a great look here from the roof cam, looking back over the rest of the field. And I love these camera views that we're getting here on 3 Wide TV tonight. Really showing some fantastic action. Is trouble. A couple of cars go sliding. The 222 gets sent off into the grass. And apparently we are going to stay green. Wow.
Yeah, I think I would have thrown the caution there, Bob. That had potential of being bad, but it looks like only one truck's going to be ultimately involved. That's a tough break for the 222.
Yeah, 222 still not able to get moving, kind of stuck there sliding in the grass, and that's really going to break up a lot of the momentum. And I think after that, the 25 of Matt Rodriguez dropped back to 8th place. I don't know if he just was on the receiving end of a pretty bad push, but we'll see here as the 57. Yeah, 57 went to the inside. 222 came down to block, but just blocked a little bit too late. And Rodriguez there just had to push his way back up on the track, which is why he fell apart.
That was weird looking, Bob. It looked like the 222 was giving the 25 the lane there, and then all of a sudden just didn't, or they couldn't figure it out. That was a very bizarre set of circumstance. As our final pit stops under green are happening, and right again, here comes the 97 and the 25/57.
Yeah, good job by them getting down pit road. The 99 of McDonald heading down pit road as well. The 2 leaders hit their marks in the box. Good job by them, able to hit their mark on the pit box and get going. Just fuel only, no tires for either of them. And they're going to head back on their way. Meanwhile, back out front, the 278 led that last lap. The 50 had Josh Edmondson also in there. So we'll see if those drivers coming down pit road will open up the floodgates and send more guys down pit road.
I'm going to start to predict something here, Bob. I think some of these lap trucks being up in this pack, there's going to be some impatience happening, and somebody's going to get turned, and we're going to have our first yellow. I hope I'm wrong, as we see Jason Gracias leading another group here. Ben Adams onto pit road. We'll see if these guys have a flawless final pit stop as well.
Yeah, we'll see here as Gracias coming down. Oh, trouble. The 11 gets turned heading down into the pit box. Everything is going to stay green there. The 11 is going to back it up and get it down in the pit box. Let's see what exactly happened there as they're coming down. Or pardon me, we are actually back live here. As you'll see the top of your screen, the drivers in the lead group. Bottom is the race off pit road. Everyone looks pretty good coming down pit road. As we see some more side-by-side action, let's see if any more leaders dip down pit road. No, looks like everyone's staying out this lap.
There's really no benefit to staying out there at this point, Bob, especially these lead trucks. I mean, the yellow comes out even after you pit. You're going to get back. You're going to be back in the pack. You're not going to have an issue. You're not going to go a lap down. So staying out here, I don't really see much benefits to it. Come down, make your final stop. hit your marks and get back out there as quick as possible.
Yeah, agreed. As we see a few cars coming off of pit road there. Right now, we're taking a look at your leaders. The 22 there, or the 24 rather, 22 on your scorebook, is one lap down. Actually, yeah, one lap down, back in 23rd position. The 278 there, Crystal King, is your leader. And we'll see if King and the rest of the group come down pit road now. They were side by side, and I was going to say that might throw a wrench in the works, but here comes everyone down pit road. Leaders are in, and we'll see how many cars make their way down pit road. Only a handful of the lead pack. John Eckert and Kevin Stone will inherit the lead. And let's see if these two make it down into their pit boxes.
It was interesting. Only 2 trucks there coming to pit road, and they could not have been further away from each other as they were hitting that commitment line, taking 0 chances of getting run over on the money stop. As we see a little bit of a 5 truck pack here, we have definitely at least a couple lap trucks in there.
Yeah, it looks like there are more lap trucks than lead lap trucks there. As you see the 24 on your screen, the 17 Tristan Thuggy Maher, each a couple of laps down. The 3 Jason Shu, 1 lap down. And this is interesting right here, G. The top drivers need to come down pit road soon, and they're stuck on the outside around these lap cars. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen here. Is the 18 going to let off? Is the 7 going to know that the 18 is going to let off? You know, are the lap cars just going to say, all right, go on ahead? Are they going to pull away? This right here could be, or does have the potential rather, to be a little nerve-wracking here.
It's nerve-wracking, but if you're the guys in that bottom lane, you're doing everything you can to get in front of these leaders in case something happens here, and I don't blame them one bit for pushing each other as hard as they are. But those guys on the outside with one less truck are really making it work. The 18's pulling ahead a little bit, but we'll see if he can hold them off here into turn 3.
Yeah, still side by side here coming out of the corner. Once everything gets cycled around, it looks like the 25 Matt Rodriguez will be your first car to inherit the lead. The top 6 have yet to pit. It's been about 23 laps since they've come down pit road, so theoretically they can probably do about 2, maybe 3 more laps. But I mean, like you had said earlier, G, I don't really think it's gonna benefit them that much unless they're trying to wait out a caution. But even then, it's just kind of almost a moot point.
Yeah, I really don't see it working out at this point, but hey, we've been wrong, and if yellow comes out here and it benefits them, then they're the ones that were right. So that's the risk you take. Sometimes you realize you're probably not going to win on the strategy you have, so you just change it up. It's no different than if you're racing a normal track, and like last night, Jason Gracias was the class of the field. Well, I know I can't beat Jason Gracias on his strategy, so let me try something else, and that's what some of these truck drivers are doing tonight.
Yeah, and honestly, that very well could work out here. I think the one thing that is hurting them is the fact that they're side by side right now. If they were single file, they'd be able to kind of keep things going a little bit better, stay a little bit quicker. But now the 18 and the 7 both back off a bit. They'll likely be coming in this time as they see a whole host of other lapped cars right in front of them.
Yeah, I think now's the time. You're coming up on some traffic. If you get to the back of this pack, which they just did, you might want to come to pit road and get it over with. But they're going to lose, I think, a lot of time here, Bob, and they're going to wind up back in the lead pack here.
Yeah, they'll definitely be pining for a caution here as the 18 of John Eckhart is going to be pulling down to pit road. The 7 of Kevin Stone as well. And oh, the 18 gets sideways coming down to pit road, hits the inside pit wall hard. But we stay green yet again as there's quite a bit of damage to the front end of that 18 truck.
Yeah, this whole strategy isn't going to play off for Eckhart in that 18, especially with that damage. Now, only a yellow is going to be able to save him.
And a tough break there. We'll take a look at this pack now. That includes the 27 of Sean Winkler and that bright orange, beautiful looking Tide Ride. He is going to be inheriting the lead as the former leader, the 7 of Kevin Stone, coming off of pit road.
Kevin Stone's going to be like the guy that's in the 7 most of the time. He's going to be all alone out there, Bob, especially after his drafting partner took a spin into the inside wall of pit lane.
Yeah, he's going to be kind of a bit of a sitting duck there, a little bit too far to catch the group of cars in front of him. Just taking a look at my telemetry, the 18 is just entering turn 3 now, and he's in the middle of 3 and 4. So I don't know if the 18 is going to have enough time to catch up with him. But as I'm saying that, more cars heading down pit road. The leader, 27 is Sean Winkler, heads down pit road. 38 of Connor Barry, Dave Bodio in there as well, Ian Fisher and Casey Brunson all making their final pit stops as well. So we'll take a look to see what is going to be going on here. I would assume fuel only, but right now this is going to be the race for the win. 9 laps to go. This is where it gets interesting, G.
Yeah, we have 7 trucks here in the lead pack that are on the lead lap. Yeah, I believe there's an extra truck or two, but they're not in contention right now. And they're going to have to sort this out. Now we have Matthew Rodriguez, an aggressive driver. Jason Gracias, an aggressive driver. Mike Tellier, who likes being a pusher, but Mike has felt like he's been owed wins, especially from pushing guys like Jason Gracias and Matthew Rodriguez to wins. You have the unknown King in the 278, Edmondson, who we're only used to seeing on dirt. Price is an aggressive driver. Anyone could win this thing. And don't forget Ben Adams there in 3rd place. If this goes wrong ahead of him, he will capitalize.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like Ben Adams is one of those drivers that's in the catbird seat right now because we know how the 25 and the 97, they love working together. Both fantastic pushers. But, all it takes is one wrong push. We saw that a little bit earlier where the 222 and the 57 got a little bit squirrely heading off into the corner. So, and as I say that, the 222 is right there in the pack, that white and black car right there, a few cars behind. So I don't think anything is going to come from it, but they do have a little bit of history earlier on in this race.
Bob, we talked about earlier in the race. You keep everything in mind from earlier in the race and never think that a racer's forgotten about anything. But I just wanted to say something, Bob, and I completely forgot. I am getting old. I'm turning 32 this week. You'll have to bear with me. I'm going to throw it back to you.
Hey, no worries. Taking a look in the chat, John Canizaro Jr. checking in. Modified series winner and points leader checking in. And yes, he said he had to express that just because his ego is so big. Not my words. Those are John's words. So, John, thanks for checking us out as well. So, a good race so far. Coming to 6 laps to go. And right here, this is going to be the race for the win. Look at that. Just about 7 cars there, all fighting for position. And honestly, unless there is a yellow, it's going to be one of these 7 here that's going to get the win.
Bob, I remembered what I was going to say, and it was a good point, so I'm glad I remembered that. There's not many guys that I've raced with throughout my life that I would trust if they said, I'm with you to the end here. You know what it's like, Bob. You're out there, you're running second. You could be pushing your best friend, your wife, your mother, whoever, to the win. When you see that checkered flag coming out and know you can win a race at Daytona, it changes a lot of people out there. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. There's not many people in this field. Mike Tellier is one of them. If he told Rodriguez he is with him, I believe him. But if he didn't say that, then Mike's going to try to win this thing. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. And this is going to be really interesting. Just kind of seeing, how this is all going to play out. There's 5 laps to go. We know, and we've been saying this whole race, the 97 and the 57 there on your screen have been working together. I mean, they've been glued to each other's back bumpers since the green flag dropped. The 5 of Ben Adams in there as well. But some newcomers, Crystal King up there, Josh Edmondson as well. Drivers we haven't really seen here in the Total Nonstop Racing League as they make some moves around some lap cars, and that might be the answer to getting these guys side by side. Crystal King leading the outside line, getting a good push there from the 58 of Josh Edmondson. Jason Gracias we're riding on board with right now. So, 4 to go. When do you make that move?
I think it's go time, Bob. Especially with Jason Gracias on that outside lane, he knows when it's go time, and he's going to push this outside lane and mix it up to the point where Rodriguez will eventually have to make a decision. What lane is he going to block? And chaos could happen after that. And especially the guys behind Rodriguez, they might be sticking with him, but they're going to be the ones that get turned. Usually when you're the leader, you're all front of all this. But the ones that are behind, they're in the danger zone. As we're watching King in the 278 try to keep that outside lane moving, but it seems to be dissipating here, but they'll have to give it another go coming to 3 to go.
Yeah, it looks like they got a little bit scared with that 18 of John Eckhart just getting a little bit on the wall. And oh, trouble! The 5 of Ben Adams just gets absolutely space forced and spinning around like a top, and the yellow flag will come out. Our first caution of the race, 57 laps into this. And gee, this changes everything.
This does
Crystal.
change everything. Crystal King, Ben Adams. Let's see what Ben Adams got launched. He has some horrible luck, and it's going to continue here. We're going to look at them getting stacked up a little bit. Ben just got squirrely and overcorrected, and we have liftoff, ladies and gentlemen. I think the judges are going to give that a 10, a 10, and a 9 as well. Wow, Ben Adams, horrible,
Yeah, I
horrible end to the
know.
night.
I know Cape Canaveral's fairly close to Orlando, but right there, just a little bit of a bad tap, and the 5. I know. I know the 58 of Josh Edmondson is used to those jumpy trucks over on the dirt side of thing, but I don't think I've ever seen one of those trucks get launched into the air like we just saw the 5 of Ben Adams. But just looked like a bit of a bad push at the bad time. I think we've said it in this broadcast too, where that car gets so light coming out of the corner, and it's so easy to upset it. One thing usually leads to another, and unfortunately, that wreck happened, and the 278 just wrong place, wrong time.
And that happens a lot here with these play races, as we see some trucks pretending to come down pit road. I don't think they're going to give up the track position unless they're really low on fuel. But Bob, we had a chaotic battle there between 7 trucks. Now these guys who were able to stay on the lead lap are going to get a chance to get involved in the finish of this race. And if they're on the lead lap, they think they could win this thing. And I think it's going to get even more chaotic. We might not see another truck lift off like it's going into outer space. But I think we're going to see some bumping, banging, and everyone going for this checkered flag to win this debut race of our Tuesday night Thunder Truck Series.
Yeah, hopefully, all 26 cars that are still on the track, hopefully they all, keep their 4 tires there on the track here. We'll probably be restarting with a green-white checkered, depending on how everything kind of squares itself away. But I mean, yeah, if you're on the lead lap, you still have a chance. Our lucky dog is going to be the 27 of Sean Winkler. And gee, now there's 3 laps to go. Pit road is open. Do you come down to get fresh tires? Do you stay out and keep that track position? What do you do?
If I'm in the back and I didn't take tires all race, I'll come take tires. If I'm in the front, you got what you got. Good luck, everybody. But I am curious, Bob, on this restart, if Rodriguez will choose the outside lane and Floppy will let him clear him so they can continue to work together. Because if not, they're going to be side by side. I don't know what their team orders are, if they agreed that, hey, when it comes to the end of the race, you're on your own, or if they're going to do that. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that when we're going back green.
Yeah, that is going to be really interesting. I know we see it in real life racing where if the leaders or teammates usually want to say, "All right, come on down." We saw it in the Daytona 500 between Cindric and Blaney. So I would at least hope that one of them will let the other in, whoever gets a better jump on the restart. And but this is one of those things. There's 14 cars on the lead lap. What is going to happen? That's 7 rows of cars right there, all vying for position. I think the 27 is a little bit at a bit of a disadvantage because Sean's the lucky dog. He's going to have to start in the way back of the pack. So, he's going to be saying, man, I hope there's a green-white checkered here, or another green-white checkered rather, so I can get back up with the rest of the lead lap cars and vie for position. But I think, if you're one of those cars in the first couple of positions, you might be saying, all right, I got this.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bob, I'll make a prediction. There's 14 trucks in the lead lap. 13 of them are going to be disappointed at the end of this race that they didn't win this thing because they think they had a shot at it. So if you're the 27, you just got your mulligan, you're back on the lead lap. I think you want to keep your truck clean here. Hope that they're going to wad up in front of you and you can gain some spots and get a chance at another restart because it's going to be a tough hill to climb all the way back. But it also looks like we have Rodriguez choosing the outside, so there might be some team orders at play here.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, too, he's got a great pusher behind him in the one of Jason Gracias. So I'm really thinking Gracias is going to be right glued to the back bumper of that 57 machine. And there's not going to be much daylight between those 2 cars when the green flag drops. Taking a quick look in the chat, we have Eric Bolt in there saying, on behalf of all of us at Boltjet, like to thank everyone for coming out, and good luck to the drivers. Thank you, everyone. So thank you, Eric, for coming out and getting on board with us here on Total Nonstop Racing on 3 Wide TV. It's the Fisher Disc Golf Boltjet Charter 150. Green flag is out. Overtime is underway. Good jump there by the 57 of Matt Rodriguez. He will jump down and clear the 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier.
First 3 trucks get right in line there. We're going to see how they're going to sort it out between them. Gracias' job here is to make that 97 uncomfortable, get him into that 57, and then take advantage of it any way he can, and I expect him to do just that. But let's see how long it takes for these guys to start mixing it up as we're running out of time here. A lap and a half to go at Daytona.
Yeah, right there. Good jump to the outside by Gracias. He's got the push of Edmondson on his outside. And look at that. Who is in third place in the outside line, now going through wide? That's the 7 of Kevin Stone. We said he was a bit of a sitting duck before the yellow. Not anymore. They're side by side. White flag coming out. Let's see if they make it, or will there be another yellow? The next flag is going to do it. As the field makes their way through the tri-oval, white flag is in the air. They're going to be racing back to the checkered, and this is it. Right here on the inside, the 57 of Matt Rodriguez, Jason Gracias on the outside through turns 1 and 2.
97 up a little bit in the corner there, but gets right back to the 57's bumper. But Gracias is doing a tremendous job on that outside lane, and I like being on the outside lane if you can keep them organized behind you. But it seems like that 7 is trying to make it 3 wide. He's taking his chance to try to win this race as we're heading into turn 3. Bob, take us home, buddy.
Side by side, trouble back behind him, but we'll keep it here with the leaders. Side by side through turns 3 and 4, huge wreck behind them, but coming out of turn 4, Matt Rodriguez down on the bottom. On his outside is the one of Jason Gracias coming to the line. Gracias is going to win the Fisher Disc Golf Boltjet Charter 150 here at Daytona.
Wow, Jason Gracias, 3 for 3 in total nonstop racing events this week. Jason Gracias edges out Matt Rodriguez. What a crazy finish. Josh Edmondson coming home in third. These guys, you could have thrown a blanket over them, Bob. That was such a tight, amazing finish, and I'm glad everyone was here to be a part of it.
Man, lots of carnage there going through the last couple of corners there, but somehow Jason Gracias able to edge out Matt Rodriguez. And man, what a finish. Close finish. As we see the 57 kind of come over and say, hey, congratulations. And we'll watch the 1 burn it down here.
Gonna burn it down, and I think there's gonna be a lot of people celebrating. I think there's a few competitors out there that are happy with the way this race turned out. Yeah, you wanted to win, but when you see someone that you've raced with as much as Jason Gracias and someone as universally respected as Jason Gracias win a race, you can't help but be a little bit happy for them, even though it wasn't you, as he's going to tear up this grass in the bagcraftcornhole.com #1 machine.
Yeah, great looking truck out there on the track. What a fantastic race overall, as Gracias is going to burn it down. In just a couple of moments, we'll take a look at the final results, the unofficial results after any possible penalties or any of that sort of thing. But right now, Jason Gracias is your winner. And we'll take a look at the rest of the field. Matt Rodriguez comes in second. The interval, 22 1/1000ths of a second. The top 4 all within 1/10 of a second. Matt Rodriguez in second. Josh Edmondson comes in third. Mike Floppy Tellier in fourth. Bradley Wilson, good run from him. Started back in P22, finishes in 5th. Jeff Price, 6th. Kevin Stone, the 7 in 7 for Kevin. Brian Bradley in 8th. Connor Barry in 9th. Matt Vanderkoy finishing in the top 10, Garrett.
Yeah, 3 more trucks on the lead lap here. Bob Sean Winkler in the 27, comes home in 11th. Bill Edwards, my good friend and sometimes rival, comes home in 12th. Dave Bodio in 13th. Mitchell Adams, not the night he was hoping for, in 14th. Jason Chu trapped the lap down in 15th. Keith Carbaugh comes home 16th position, the number 29. Ian Fisher, 17th. Paul McDonald, 18th. John Eckhart and Casey Brunson round out your top 20.
In 21st, the 222 of Ryan Hesgard finishes 2 laps down in 21st. In 20th is the 10 of Casey Brunson. Tristan Thuggy Maher in 22nd. Keaton Swain, not the best of nights, unfortunately, for Keaton. They'll finish 23rd. 24th, Cameron Perez 25th Crystal King. Ben Adams finishes on the moon in 26th and final position for tonight's race. But G, a very, very fun race. Let's get started with our post-race interviews, and I believe you've caught up with our third place finisher, the 58 of Josh Edmondson.
Yes, I have, Bob. We're going to drag him in here. Josh Edmondson. Josh Edmondson's geared up in the booth. It's nice seeing you on some asphalt for a change. How'd you like driving the old truck out there tonight? You put on a heck of a show.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's definitely a change of pace for what I do normally on here, and it's kind of why I'm doing this, is just to branch out and do something different, learn a different skill on here, and I'm looking forward to the rest of them for sure.
Well, if you're this good in your first race, I can only imagine what you're going to do to us the rest of the season. I'm sure there'll be some wins in your future, but is there anything that caught you by surprise tonight, racing with these guys, maybe most of them for the first time?
Just I don't know, the strategy of being aggressive and all that, but holding their lines. I didn't expect to go 3 wide early, but everybody managed to do it, and it was actually a lot of fun. It was just starting to get dull, and then everybody decided to spice it up. So that was actually a blast. It was cool racing around those guys that can hold the line. It sucks it had to happen like that at the end there. I think I was pushing Crystal. Thought we had a good chance of getting around those guys, and I don't know really what happened, but then the one big wreck at the end kind of changed everything.
Yeah, these super speedway races are very unpredictable. Sometimes there's a lull in between. Sometimes it's chaotic from start to finish. This race, good green flag run, which is unusual at times. But headed next week to Las Vegas, more of a traditional track, 1.5 miles. Have you raced there before? And what are your thoughts heading into Las Vegas?
I have not. I have not done a race there, so it's going to be new. I'll try and get some practice in before it and be prepared, but I'm really not sure. I've done a little bit of asphalt racing, and I'm usually pretty bad at burning up my right front tire, so maybe I'll try and learn how to not do that.
Well, that's a good strategy for next week, and starting the season off with a podium is certainly nothing to sneeze at. Before we let you go, you have any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, shout out to you guys putting on the broadcast. Looking forward to go back and watch it, and then everybody on my team, Jim Beaver Esports, and Connor, my teammate, running with me. He had some bad luck tonight, but looking forward to getting him up here too. And then all the sponsors, Next Level Racing, Vision Wheels, Dirtfish, and everybody else. Thanks.
Well, thanks, Josh. We look forward to seeing you next week, and maybe you can improve on their third place finish. And I'll kick it over to Bob Giaquinto, who's going to catch up with our close but no cigar second place finisher, Matthew Rodriguez.
Yeah, thanks, G. And now I'm here with our second place finisher, Matt Rodriguez. And Matt, great race. You and Mike kind of had the strategy to beat there. Tell me about the strategy first and foremost.
Honestly, I first have to shout out Mike for being willing to stare at my back bumper for how many laps is this? he was pretty much locked to that bumper the entire race, and that's the one thing where I absolutely love Mike, where if he has a strategy in mind, he is willing to follow through to make sure that strategy happens no matter what, even if it sacrifices himself, which, you know, it sounds terrible, but in actuality it's awesome having someone who you can rely on.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, he's definitely one of those teammates that will always go the extra mile there. You know, we had seen I believe just before the second group of green flag pit stops, a little bit of contact. I don't know if the driver in front of you kind of came down and got into you, or what exactly happened there, but you know, a great job battling back from a little bit of contact there under green flag racing, and able to get you back here in second.
I mean, I'm not too worried. I mean, like I said, just contact's contact. I'd say it just wasn't. Honestly, I'm not even remembering that, so it wasn't that big of a deal. I'd say it's a race. Unfortunately, things happen.
Fair enough. Well, next week we're going to be looking at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, just a traditional 1.5 mile track. What are your thoughts heading into Vegas next week?
I mean, Vegas is fun. Gamble a lot. I typically lose, so I'm expecting probably a DNF next week, but we'll obviously see.
Well, Matt, before we let you go, do you have any shout outs for us?
Obviously, Steak and Shake for allowing me to basically paying me to run their own logos. Mike Floppy Tellier for being the best teammate ever. Robert Kenny for being the best spotter ever. Sky Motorsports for not kicking me out yet, and Garrett Gleason for not kicking me out yet. He hasn't even taken away my broadcaster role.
Do you have anything to say about that, G?
Matt's done a lot for this league, and I've always appreciated what he's done, and he deserves his roles and he deserves his success. And I'm glad Mike was willing to stick with him, because if I was his teammate, I would have dumped him a long time ago.
Don't blame it. I think you've done it already.
Well, Matt, congratulations on the second place finish, and we're looking forward to seeing you out there next week at Vegas.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Well, that was Matt Rodriguez, our second place finisher. And G, I believe you made your way down into victory lane with tonight's winner, Jason Gracias.
Jason, I am getting sick and tired of interviewing you this week. It's been 2 days of racing, and you just keep on winning. Why do you keep doing this to me?
Because I'm trying to send a message to Tony Lucarelli that he needs to send me some bad craft gear.
Well, I'll get him on the phone first thing tomorrow morning, bud. But we're keeping an eye on you throughout the race from the drop of the green flag. I said, when Gracias mixes it up, that's when we're going to know. You were the first one to take it 3 wide, as you always are. And you were the one at the end that I said, this is the guy that's going to impact the finish of this race. How do you just do what you do out there all the time? Do you just not care? You just want to have fun? Like, what's in your head right now?
I just always go out, and I'm never going to make a living off iRacing. So once I realized that at a very young age playing NR 2003, I just go out there and try to have fun. So, and by having fun, I don't care if I cause a wreck. And if I do, it wasn't intentional. I tend to own up to my mistakes when I make them. So, I don't think I have any bad grudges, but actually, this race, I wasn't the first one to make it 3 wide. It was actually Cameron Perez who jumped up to the top to make it 3 wide, or jumped in the middle to make it 3 wide. Then after I saw Cameron do that, I was like, oh, all bets are off. Let's have some fun. So I have to thank Cameron for encouraging me to be a wild child and taking this race and making some crazy moves to try to get to the front. And it worked out.
Well, I'm sorry I gave you too much credit there, Jason. It's typical considering you've won every race we've had on 3Y TV this week. But going back to that last restart, Bob and I talked about that. Maybe team orders were at play. It was going to take an effort to get by the 25 or 57 of Rodriguez and Floppy. Did you have a strategy in mind? Were you always going to choose that, try to get to that outside lane and just hope enough trucks got behind you to push it to the lead? What were you thinking at that point?
There's no choose rule this season, so I knew whoever I lined up behind, I wanted to push them out to a far enough lead that they couldn't jump down and work with their teammate. But unfortunately, Matt jumped it, so I didn't know when he was really going. So I knew that after I saw it was single file from first to fourth, that whoever jumped up top first would get help from whoever was behind, because no one wants to ride single file with 2 to go. They want to, dice it up for the win. And thankfully, Josh at Edmondson went with me the last 2 laps, and he gave me some really strong pushes, and we were able to work with that and get the win. So as much as I want to take credit for this win, it's really thanks to Josh Edmondson for being a good racer and an ally out there for today, and try to push me to the win, and it worked out.
Yeah, Josh was just telling us he doesn't really know what he's doing yet on this asphalt, but he knows enough to push a league administrator to the win. So his total non-stop racing career is looking good. So you're 3 for 3 this week, Gracias. I'm sure we'll see you here in action later on in the week, but I want to let you relish in your victory tonight and give any shout outs you'd like to give, and the floor is yours, bud.
Yeah, just thanks to Mitchell and Ben for working together. They had some hurdles to get this truck season going. I know it started later than they wanted it to, but they've done a good job. They worked on field sizes. We had 26 guys come out. We had some really good white knuckle racing from start to finish. So hopefully more guys come out next week, and we keep the same guys as we move through the season, because it'll be fun, for sure. Thanks to the people that make this Tuesday Night Thunder Truck Series possible. SDS Podcast, 3Y TV, TNR for giving us the platform, Mitchell and Ben for running the show. Thanks to Badcraft.com, BadcraftCornhole.com, excuse me, for sponsoring the one truck and the one car, and the whatever I race in other leagues. If you guys need some cornhole gear, go check out Tony Lucarelli's site. That's Badcraftcornhole.com. Pick yourself up a cornhole scorekeeper, a sticker, a shirt, a hoodie. Tell them Jason sent you. And then lastly, thanks to Chris Darling over at Max Graphics for always keeping me in some really, really fresh paint schemes. So I'll have to hit him up for something new coming soon.
Well, bud, congratulations on the win. That was quite a mouthful, and all the people and sponsors you have to thank. You do that like a pro. I'm sure you'll be celebrating this weekend. You'll have to keep us posted what your beverage of choice is, so we'll look forward to that. But enjoy this one tonight, and go get to sleep or something, huh?
Yeah, beverage of choice is water. It's cut season, man. Got to get the body right for the summer.
Well, that makes one of us. Congratulations, Jason, and we'll let you enjoy it.
Yep. See you guys.
Well, that will just about do it for us. What a great race, G. And before we leave, any final thoughts here?
Daytona was everything we thought it would be, and then some. We had some good green flag racing, some give and take out there. People know what to expect now from the series. I'm really looking forward to Las Vegas next week. It was fun working with you for the first time, different roles. Carlos producing for us, it was tremendous, and I can't wait to do it next week. I hope everyone tunes in, and I appreciate our two new sponsors coming on board. I'm sure you'll give them a shout out before we leave air, but nothing to be ashamed of tonight as a league or from the broadcast booths from my perspective, Bob.
Definitely a really great race, a fun race, 57 straight laps, green flag racing with multiple green flag pit stops. You absolutely can't beat it. I want to give a special thanks to Fisher Disc Golf and Boltjet Charter, both coming on board to sponsor tonight's race. Also, special thanks to the Stay Tuned Sports podcast, tonight's presenting sponsor of the Tuesday Night Thunder League. Stay Tuned Sports going to be with us all season long here, so really great to have them on there as well. So, for one final time, I'm Bob Giaquinto. Special thanks to Garrett Gleason and Carlos Acosta for coming out and producing for tonight's show on 3Y TV. We will be back next Tuesday night here around 8:15 Eastern or so, give or take, for next week's race at Las Vegas. But until then, stay safe, stay well, and we'll talk to you next week.